Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome to Sunrise Small Talk episode number 78. The Broncos are rolling, the Avs are rolling. I'm happy, and today we're going to talk about RMDs and QCDs because it is one of the most common questions I get. And the question usually comes to me with a little bit of anxiety in the voice. When do they start? How do I get them? Do I take them all at once? Can I spread them out over the course of the year? People make it a lot more complicated than it needs to be. Carson Tax Solutions put together a PDF, which is linked in the email, and I'm going to go over it right now. And I think it's very helpful. It's something I wish I had a long time ago, but it talks about the FAQs of RMDs as well as QCDs. So let's dive right in. Question number one, the most common question is, do I need to take an RMD? When does that start? Well, do you turn 73 this year? If the answer is yes, you will start taking them this year or by April 1st of next year. If you're not 73 yet, you're not going to take them. If you're over 73, you're already taking them. Pretty simple. That's going to change in the future. If you were born in 1960 or later, you'll begin taking them at age 75. Why do they keep changing it? Why do they keep pushing it back? I have a theory. My theory is based on simple math. We have life expectancy and we have RMD age. If we can shrink that timeline, that means your RMDs will be larger based on the uniform lifetime table that we use to calculate the RMDs. So if we shrink the timeline, increase RMDs, guess what? That means your RMDs are larger, which puts you in a higher tax bracket, thus more revenue for the government. FAQs. I'm not going to go over all of these. I'm just going to say this. If you work with me, two things are happening. Number one, your RMDs are going to be automatic. If you don't take your RMDs, you get a big penalty. So we make sure that we send your RMDs, if they are due, by December 31st of the year that they're due. Typically, they're going to come out in November or December if you're not already on an automatic monthly plan where you are receiving your income to satisfy your RMDs. Number two, as I mentioned in the prior slide, rules change. We're trying to shrink. We're not. The government's trying to shrink that timeline that you're pulling from your RMDs, thus bumping you into a higher tax bracket so they can generate more revenue, which is money that comes out of your pocket. What can we do to get around that? Well, that's why we talk about doing things like Roth conversions and putting together your tax puzzle every single year so we remain in control of how much your RMDs are going to be to the best of our ability. We don't have full control, but we can try to control it as much as possible. QCDs, moving on from RMDs to QCDs. I've done videos or mentioned this in other videos, but that's a qualified charitable distribution. It comes out of your IRA. You do not take possession, and it goes right to charity. So let me advance to the next slide to dive into QCDs. QCD rules, you have to be 70 and a half. If you are 70 and a quarter, we're not going to do that document. We're not going to sign that document. We're going to wait until you are 70 and a half officially before making a QCD. The limit is $108,000 per year. If you go over that limit, any additional amount just becomes ordinary income that hits your tax return. One benefit that I really like about the QCD, other than the obvious, the fact that you're getting money out of your IRA, satisfying your RMD, and donating to a charity, is the fact that it does not increase your adjusted gross income, your AGI. Why is that important? Well, because we look at AGI when we consider things such as how much of our Social Security will be taxable. So if we can keep that AGI number low, that can be a benefit when it comes to other taxation, such as Social Security taxation and taxation on capital gains. Lots of benefits of doing a QCD, and obviously you don't want to do a QCD for tax purposes only. You have to be charitably inclined to do so, which most of us are. Lastly, just to wrap this up, again, I've said it a couple times, we have a link to this PDF. I think it's a great thing to actually download and save. Carson Tax Solutions, Debbie Taylor, who runs that division, is phenomenal and awesome. And again, I wish I had this simple PDF many years ago because these questions come up all the time and it is a great handout. Also, I will go ahead and have Ashley, if you could, link the video to our tax presentation. If you have not seen that on the YouTube or didn't go to one of the live events or online events, A lot of great information and stories and examples inside of there. I think it's about 45 minutes long, but goes all throughout taxes and retirement, tricks, tools, things you may be aware of, may not be aware of, and things that we are obviously always watching and monitoring on our end as tax laws constantly change. So, with that, hope you have a great day. Feel free to send this on to a friend, colleague, family member who you think might enjoy it, and we will talk to you soon.